Hi, thanks for joining me. My name is Mary. Today's practice will focus on dealing with impatience. I find myself being quite impatient these days, and I have a few practices that I'd like to share with you. So let's get started. Start on your back, so find a comfortable position. You could have your knees up or your legs flat, but feel yourself settling in. So first, notice your back sinking into your mat. Notice if you're holding tension in your shoulders. You could give a couple shoulder rolls and then just feel your shoulders sink in. Let your arms relax. And bring awareness to your breath. So just start by noticing your inhales and your exhales. And call to mind something that may be causing you impatience right now. It could be when you're driving, other drivers causing you problems, maybe somebody pulling out in front of you, maybe somebody driving too slowly. And as you're calling that image to mind, think about having compassion for that person. Think about what the person is going through. We never really know what issues other people are facing. So compassion is a powerful tool to both reach out to people that may be suffering or struggling, but it also gives us peace of mind and understanding. So throughout today's practice, we'll be moving slowly with patience and ease, and focusing on having compassion for ourselves. So roll onto one side and then slowly press yourself up to a seated position. And we'll start in a cross-legged position. A cross-legged position that's comfortable for you. You might feel like you're stretching your hips a little bit. So the stretch is okay. If you're finding discomfort though, don't worry about sitting with your legs crossed. Let's start by just bringing our arms up, taking a breath in, bring your hands to your heart, and then place your hands on your knees. Let's do that one more time. Big breath in, arms out, up. And then exhale, bring your hands to your heart and to your knees. Now let's come to an all fours position. We'll start with our standard sun salutation, but we'll take it slowly and with ease. So spread your fingers, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, and we're just going to start to do a couple cat-cows, moving with breath. Breathing in, bring your tailbone and chest up. Exhaling, draw your chin towards your spine, tuck in your tailbone. And just move slowly with breath a couple times, in your own time, with your own breath. Come to a neutral spine. Curl your toes, lift your knees off the ground, and press into downward dog, keeping your knees very bent. Let your neck completely relax and start to pedal your feet very slowly with your breath. Just bringing some openness in the back of your thighs. And then look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands to come to halfway lift. Have a very straight back, the crown of your head facing forward. Hinge and fold, but bend your knees a lot so your chest will rest on your thighs. Let your neck relax again. And we're just going to stay here for a few breaths. You could maybe hold on to opposite elbows, maybe rocking gently from side to side. Just slowly coming into our practice, not worrying about what's going to happen next, not worrying about things that happened before. So if you've held on to your elbows, let go. Press your feet into the earth, and we're going to rise up very slowly. Keep your chin to your chest, just slowly rising up. And when you reach standing, just let your head come to neutral. Now bring your arms out slowly and up as you breathe in. And then bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So let's take a full deep breath in, arms out and up. Bring your hands to your chest, tense your fingers, step your right foot back into low lunge. Plant your hands, step your right foot back into downward dog. Breathe in, come to child's pose. Breathe in, come to all fours. Exhale, sink into child's pose. See, I was trying to do the next thing ahead of time. I need to have some patience. Now press into all fours. And then curl your toes, bring your hips high and back to downward dog. Look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands to come to halfway lift. Hinge and forward fold. Press into the earth to rise up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Take a full breath in, bring your arms out and up. And then hinge and fold, tense your fingers, step your left foot back into low lunge. Plant your hands, step your right foot back into downward dog. Breathe in, come to all fours. Exhale, sink into child's pose. Press into all fours and then curl your toes, bring your hips high and back to downward dog. Let your neck relax. In downward dog, bring your tailbone up towards the sky and then bring your heels towards the ground. So feel the length and expansion all along the back of your legs. Still letting your neck relax. Now look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands to come to halfway lift, nice straight spine. Exhale, hinge and fold. Maybe your legs are a little bit straighter, but if your knees are bent, that's perfectly fine. Now press into the earth to rise up, reaching, extending. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Take a full deep breath in, arms out and up. Hinge and fold. This time bring your arms out wide as you hinge and fold. Tense your fingers. Step your right foot back, but ground your right foot into the earth. Press into your left foot to rise up into warrior one. You might need to adjust your feet. Notice if your shoulders are up towards your ears and pull them back. Now we're just going to turn to the right and open up to warrior two. Lift your left palm and reach over into reverse warrior. Come into warrior two, cartwheel your hands down, frame your left foot, step your left foot back into plank. You could go to plank on knees. Bring your heels towards the back of the room, draw your belly into your spine. Now lower your knees and then lower all the way to your belly, squeezing your sides with your arms as you lower down. Press the tops of your feet into the earth, bring your chest up, draw your shoulders down and back into baby cobra, feeling sensation in your upper back. Exhale, lower your head down. Now press first into all fours, curl your toes, bring your hips high and back to downward dog. Look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands to come to halfway lift. Hinge and forward fold, and then press into the earth to rise up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Take a full deep breath in, swan dive with your arms wide, hinging at your hips, tense your fingers, step your left foot back and plant it into the earth. Press into your right foot as you rise up into warrior one. Now open up to the left into warrior two. Flip your right palm, reverse. Come back to warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down. Step your right foot back into plank. Lower down onto your belly, whichever way feels good to you. Rest your forehead on the mat. Come into baby cobra as you breathe in. Exhale, let your forehead rest on the mat. Breathe in, come to all fours, and then exhale, press up into downward dog. Let your neck relax. Look to your hands. Walk your feet up to your hands to come to halfway lift. Straight back, crown of your head forward. Hinge at your hips to forward fold. Letting your neck relax. Press into the ground to rise up, arms outstretched wide and then up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Come to the front of your mat. We're going to come into tree pose. So bring most of your weight to your left side. And once you have the weight distributed, you could tent your right foot so that you're just resting your right foot on your left ankle. Standing up tall, draw your shoulders back. You could bring your right foot up to the calf of your left leg, or all the way up above your knee. So just avoid placing your right foot on your left knee. So once you find your position that's comfortable for you, we're going to balance for a while and be very patient with ourselves as we do it. So you could bring your arms up. And if you wobble and tumble, that's totally fine. Sometimes it's helpful to find a spot that you can gaze at so that you can hold your balance. If you feel like you're really balancing well, maybe play around with some arm movements. And if that doesn't knock you off, try closing your eyes for a breath. I'm going to keep my eyes open because I always tumble. Wait, no, I'm going to close them. And I did tumble. And it's okay. So I'm going to come back. My left foot is very tired, but I'm going to give one more round. And we'll just hold that for 3, 2, and 1. And then you can bring your right foot down. Maybe give your left ankle a little roll. Press your feet into the earth to rise up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Let's do the other side right away. So now bring your balance to your right foot We'll just go through the same process. So find a spot for your left foot that feels good. It could be ankle, calf, or up to your thigh. Standing up tall. And finding an arm placement that feels good to you. It doesn't have to be the same arm placement that it was on the opposite foot. Just playing around and experimenting. Notice if you're holding your breath. And there I tumbled. So that's fine. That's all is good. So if you tumble, you just come back to it. Just experimenting. There's no right or wrong. And even if you have just a slight bit of balance on that one foot, you're doing such good work for the balancing leg. You might feel your muscles of that ankle just quivering, and know that you're really doing good work. And balancing on one leg really gives you better balance on both feet. So it's a win-win. Well, maybe just stay here just for a couple more breaths. And then you can bring your left foot down, and we'll just do a few little ankle rolls with the right foot. Let's take a freedom breath, deep breath in, reaching, stretching. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So come to the top of your mat, take a deep breath in, hinge and fold, tense your fingers, step your left foot back, plant your left foot into the mat. We're going to rise up first into warrior one. So your right knee will be bent. Now open up to warrior two. Oops, little balance issue there. Now straighten your right knee, and we're going to press forward as far as we can go. And when you can't go any further, place your right hand on your right shin, left hand on your left hip. So you could stay here, or you could bring your right hand down to the earth, so feeling the stretch along your right leg. If you notice that your shoulder tilts down, bring yourself back up so you can keep that openness in your chest area. So you could stay here, or you could bring your left hand up to the sky. So we're going to hold this pose for a couple of breaths. Notice where you're at. Notice where your breath is. See if there's any place you can find a little bit of relaxation. If you're holding yourself tightly, maybe you need to stand up a little bit. From here, we're going to turn to the right. So frame your right foot with your hands, and we're going to stand on our right foot, kick your left leg out to parallel. So you can stay here, or you could do a little balance on your right fingertips and bring your left hand up to the sky into half moon. So if you're having trouble balancing, you could flex your left foot or bring your left hand down and just balance on three limbs, so on your hands and your one foot. So now everybody come down. Now bring your left foot to the sky. We're coming into something called standing splits. So look at your right knee. Let your neck relax. And then bring your left foot down. Come into a forward fold, letting your breath completely go. Now press into the earth to rise up. Bring your arms out to the sides and up. And then bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Let's do the other side. Press your feet into the earth to rise up, reaching, extending, and then swan dive down. Wide arms, hinge at your hips, tense your fingers. This time step your right foot back, ground your right foot into the earth. Press into your left foot to rise up first to warrior one with your left knee bent, and then open up to warrior two. Now straighten your left leg, reaching as far as you can reach. When you can't reach any more, hinge. Place your left hand on your left hip, left hand on your left shin, right hand on your right hip. Gaze up at the ceiling. Once again, feeling that openness across your chest. So you could come down, tent your fingers of your left hand on the ground. But if you're finding yourself closing in, stand up so you can keep that openness. Maybe bringing your right hand up. Now once again, finding an extension. So drawing your right hand up to the sky, feeling a line of energy from your right hand up to the sky, all the way to the ground. Drawing attention to your breath as you hold the pose. If you feel like you're straining, you can always come up a little bit. Bringing your left hand a little higher on your shin. Now turn to the left. Tent your fingers to frame your left foot, and we're going to press up so that you're standing on your left foot. Your right foot will be behind you, parallel to the earth. So you can stay here, or you can play with placing your left hand out a little bit in front of you, and then maybe first bringing your right hand to your right hip, and then finding the full extension of half moon. Feeling your strength. And it's okay to wobble, and maybe you just have your balance on 3 points. So find what works for you. Now we're going into half splits. So let your neck relax as you fold over. So standing on your left foot, your right leg will be pressing up to the sky just as far as comfortable. Maybe parallel is good for you. Maybe bending a little bit further, but not overstraining. So finding a position where you feel the stretch, but you're not overstraining your body. Now step your right foot down, press into the earth to rise up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Take a full deep breath in. Hinge and forward fold. We're coming to all fours first, and then find your way to your belly. Let your forehead rest on the earth. Bring your arms along your sides. You could have your palms up or down. When you're ready to take a breath in, bring your chest up and your legs up into locust pose. So we'll stay here for a couple of breaths, feeling the sensation and the strength in your lower back. And then exhale, lower down. And then let's do that one more time. So when you're ready to take a breath in, lift your chest up, your arms up, and your legs up to locust pose. And then lower down. Now bring your hands alongside your chest. Press up first into all fours, and then we'll sink into child's pose. Let your forehead rest on the mat. And then press up into all fours and then come to a seated position. So facing the front of your mat, bring your right knee up towards your chest. And then you could have your right foot on the inside, or you could bring it to the outside of your left leg. So sit up tall. Bring both your arms up to the sky, and then we're going to twist to the right. So tent your fingers of your right hand behind you. Your left elbow could go onto your right knee. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can just place your left hand on your right knee. So as you're twisting, notice where your sitting bones are. If you're finding that you're a little bit uneven, let the twist go a little bit so you can find that equanimity on both sides of your sitting bones. And we'll just stay here for a couple of breaths. You might notice that as you're letting yourself go, as your breath slows, maybe as you exhale, you twist a little bit further. But don't force it, just finding a position where you can feel your spine just squeezing, twisting, finding relief. And take one more breath here. And then come back to center, straighten both your legs in front of you, and we'll just take a tiny little twist to the left. Now bring both your arms up just to stretch up. Bring your hands to your heart. Now bend your left knee. Again, you could have your left foot on the inside or the outside of your right leg. Bring both your arms up, sitting up tall, finding that place on your sitting bones where you have equal weight. And now this time twist to the left, placing your right hand on your left knee, maybe bringing your right elbow to your left knee, tenting your left fingers behind you. And then sitting tall and settling in. Just feeling your breath, your inhales and your exhales. And then when you're ready to take a breath in, come to center, bring both feet in front of you, reaching your arms up, and then we're going to hinge at the hips and forward fold. So you could, as you fold, you could place your hands on your shins, maybe on your toes. And once again, just settling in, turning inward. Sometimes when yoga teachers say turn inwards, it might be a little intimidating, but just to do that, just focus on your breath. Sometimes even noticing the sensation of your breath. So as you're breathing in through your nose, imagine the air traveling in through your nose, down your throat, all the way to filling your lungs. And then imagine the exchange of oxygen and CO2, and then exhaling, letting that CO2 come up through your throat, warm out your nose. Now come up to a seated position, and we're just going to come on to our backs. Have your knees up. Bring your knees to your chest. Place your hands on your knees. and just rock from side to side. Now as you breathe in, press your knees away, straighten your arm, and then as you exhale, bring your knees to your chest. Inhale, draw your knees away, straighten your arms. Exhale, bring your knees to your chest. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in, and then breathe out, drawing knees to chest. Now straighten your feet. We're going to come into happy baby. So now bend your knees, keeping your feet up. Hold on to the outsides of your feet with the palms of your hands. So you can bend your knees a lot so that you can reach your feet to your hands. And let's just slowly rock from side to side. And then you can bring your feet down, come into a full body stretch. So stretching arms one direction, legs the other. Give your wrists and ankles some nice big rolls. And then find your resting position. So that could be Shavasana with your arms out to your sides, your legs slightly spread. But if that doesn't feel comfortable for you, find a position where you can stay still for the last few minutes of class. So as we did at the beginning of class, begin to settle in. So let your back sink into the mat. And just allow your breath to help you relax. And I'll guide you through that. So first begin by drawing attention to your breath. Not forcing your breath in any way, just noticing the natural cadence of your inhales and exhales. And then begin to use your breath to send your breath to different parts of your body. So let's start with your head. So send your gentle breath to your head and allow that gentle breath to bring relaxation to your mind, to your face, to your tongue and jaw. And let that gentle breath move down your neck, sending in relaxation to your neck, down to your shoulders, and all the way down your arms to the tips of your fingers. Send your breath down your back, upper, middle, and lower, feeling all of the muscles of your back just let go. Now send your breath down your legs, past your knees, all the way to your toes. And feel yourself completely relaxed. Notice if you're holding tension anywhere. Just do a full body scan and send your breath to any area that you might still be holding some tension. So now that you're completely relaxed, settle in and remember this state of complete relaxation. And know that this space is available to you whenever you're feeling impatient. You can always come back to your breath to find equanimity, kindness, and compassion. And that's for yourself, but also for others. So rest here for a few moments. There's nothing left for you to do. Take a few moments just to simply be. Feel your breath start to lengthen. Breathing in deeply, exhaling deeply. As you continue to lengthen your inhales and exhales, feel the energy and oxygen bringing your limbs awake. You might feel some movement in your fingers and your toes and your arms and your legs. And when you're ready, roll onto your right side using your right arm as a cushion to rest your head. And take a moment here in gratitude, thanking yourself for taking the time to practice, taking time for self-care, taking time to slow down. And then when you're ready, come to a seated position. And when you arrive, bring your hands to your heart. So at the end of a yoga class, it's traditional to say bow and say namaste. I just wanted to say a few words about that. That namaste has many meanings, but one of the meanings that I really like is that it's a way to acknowledge people and say that I see you as me. And that's the way that we can have compassion for one another, no matter what the circumstances are, is when we see ourselves in others. So I bow to you. Namaste. Thank you for practicing today. If you enjoyed this practice, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Mary P. Hall, Yogabits-Everyday. And if you click that little bell, you'll get a notification every time I upload a video to YouTube.